What is up, everybody? Bonsai, I'm the Cobra Kai kid, and today I'm here with Watch Party. What's up, Watch Party? How you doing?
Hey, Cobra Kai Kid, let's have a Cobra Kai Kid watch party. What do you say?
Hey, let's go on, let's go on. Yeah. So today we are each counting down our top 10 favorite Cobra Kai moments. Hang on one second. I got, here we go. Here we go. Boom.
Woo-hoo.
Bum, 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 bum.
Quiver. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. So that took me like a solid 5 minutes. So I had to show it. I had to show it. So
Oh, hell
okay.
yeah.
So yeah. All right. So basically, we're gonna get right down to it. So how it'll work is me and Watch Party each created our own list of our top 10 favorite Cobra Kai moments, and there wasn't any real criteria for the list. It was basically what we considered our favorites. So it was our opinions, what we thought of as our favorites. I haven't seen Watch Party's list at all. I have no idea what he's going to say. He has no idea what I'm going to say. So we're reviewing our list for the first time. And yeah, so Watch Party, before we begin, how do you want to talk about what you based your list off of? Because this was entirely up to you. So what kind of stuff did you use to make your list?
It's a good question. Obviously, there's so much that's so awesome in the show. I mean, you could take 10 moments from every episode, right? So like, what if you're going to just try to make your 10 moments of all time? What are you going to do? What I found myself like picking is kind of what is it that drew me to the show in the first place? Like when I first wanted to watch Cobra Kai, and when I do watch every time, like, why am I watching? Like, what is it that I want to see? What is it that I love the most? So it's sort of those moments, like, why do we have this Cobra Kai show? Why am I watching this? That's what really sort of informed me in making my decisions. And so kind of the list, as you'll see, um, it definitely is sort of informed by that. Like, why was I first drawn to Cobra Kai in the first place?
Yeah, that's a really good point. For me, it's the same thing, but for me, when I made my list, it was what drew me to the show, but it's also about what stayed with me because there's so many great moments, but the greatest moments for me are what I remember and what I think about, and when I'm thinking about the show, it's those are the moments that stand out to me. And one of the things that that went into my list a lot is the music, because the music for me, I really love the music. So there were a lot of scenes where they had the music, and that really made the scene for me. So it's the acting with the story, with the music. It was just a combination. So that's what stood out to me.
I have a few guesses on what you like for the music too.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. So do you want to get right to the rules? Are we good?
I guess, yeah, let's go. Let's have some Cobra Kai moments.
Okay, so here are the rules. We'll go through it while we are doing the stream, so it won't be confusing. But basically, we each have our top 10 moments, and I'm going to start with my bottom three, 10 through 7. My bad, 10 through 8. I'm going to start with 10 through 8. Then we'll talk about it one at a time, and then Watch Party, you'll do your 10 through 8. Then I'll do my bottom 2, 7 through 6, and then you'll do 7 to 6. And then when we get to number 5, we'll go back and forth talking about it. And after each moment, we'll discuss it. We'll both discuss it. And there's something called a punt. So basically, if I have something at my number 9 and Watch Party has that same moment at his number 3, he'll say punt. And then we'll talk about it when we get to the higher ranking. So if that makes sense. So if I have a moment ranked high and he has that same moment ranked lower or whatever, we'll talk about it when we get to the higher ranking. Did I explain that right? Do you want to
Yeah, basically, well, if a scene is on both our lists, we'll only talk about it once, but we'll talk about it at whoever has it highest on the list, right? So that's how we'll do it.
Now, you know, you probably should have explained that part because you made it very simple. I was like, I was making it way more confusing than it was. So we got 20 people here right now. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it. And let's have some fun. So ready? Are we ready?
All right, go for it, man.
All right. So at my number 10 on my list, I have season 2, episode 4, The Moment of Truth. Daniel seeing Mr. Miyagi guy, the Mr. Miyagi guy at the beach.
Good one. Good one.
So what I love so much about season 2 is the use of Miyagi. And like in season 1, they mentioned him and they really brought his teachings to life. But like in season 2, they physically brought him to life because you had that moment where you literally saw him. You know, even though it wasn't him, you felt like he was there. Then in episode 6, I believe, they had the flashback of him, and it's like, you know, now they're not with the stand-in, and it's like he's actually like there, even though it's not him. But that felt so beautiful to me, and especially the last shot. I don't know if you remember the last shot from that scene where Daniel was on the beach with the Miyagi guy. It was a far shot of Daniel and the back of him, and it looked like they were actually together. It was a shot of them together, and it actually looked like it was older Daniel with the real Mr. Miyagi. And to me, that was just really beautiful. It was like, it was just, I was emotional. The music was great. It was Mr. Miyagi's theme. And then the guy gave the life lesson to Daniel about being patient and like, you know, the fish, like not too many fish today, but like you just have to be patient, let them come to you. So it was like Mr. Miyagi's spirit talking to him, and that scene was just beautiful. So
still providing a little guidance and wisdom, you know. It is true. It's like Mr. Miyagi is still there and still guiding Daniel when he needs that guidance. And that's something. It's great. I'm from what they say, it's, you know, something Ralph insisted on from the beginning, but that, you know, the producers, they were always wanted to do that, and that the spirit of Miyagi is still running through this story. And it's perhaps maybe best thus far in 2 seasons explained, you know, shown in that scene where, you know, this almost not doppelganger, but, you know, this new Miyagi is like right there and still guiding Daniel.
Yeah, exactly. That scene just spoke to me, and I hope they do more of that in season 3. I hope they like put him in as like some sort of physical form in terms of
yeah, I mean, I've predicted that, so we'll see. We'll see whenever season 3 shows up. We'll get there. No, we don't know when it is, so you don't have to ask. So we don't.
Thank you. Yeah, everyone's always asking me when it's coming out. I don't know, man. I'm just a YouTuber. All right, so that was my number 10. So now number 9, right? Are we ready? Number 9?
Go for it. All
right. So number 9, we have, it's a little more on the comedic side. Season 1, episode 2, Strike First. Johnny explaining Cobra Kai to Miguel. So this scene, well, actually, there's some serious things to take away from this scene. It's not just all like because of the comedy. Well, first off, the comedy here is gold. You know, this is Miguel, who this is like a new generation being introduced to the old fashioned Cobra Kai style of like strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Like the first thing Miguel says is like, "Am I gonna get the karate pajamas too?" And Johnny's like, "Quiet." So that part made me laugh. And then like Johnny's like, "Are you ready to begin your training?" And then Miguel's like, "Yeah, sensei," and just flips him. It's just, and then the best line of the whole show, I think you know where I'm going with this. "Sensei, I have asthma." "Not anymore. We don't allow weakness in this dojo." Like it's just funny. And then he starts going into the strike first, strike hard. It's not just about karate. You know, if you're at a party, you see a babe, like, you know what I mean? Like he's like saying it's for like real life too. So it's not. So then later, that's what Miguel uses to go up to the girls. You know, he uses the strike first mentality. So it was the combination of the comedy and like, that was the first, because I didn't I was first introduced to Karate Kid. My bad. I didn't watch Karate Kid. I watched Cobra Kai first. So this was my first introduction to Cobra Kai rather than the one from Karate Kid. So it was cool to see what it was about.
Right. You know, and it's funny because that's a scene I don't have on my list, but looking back, I really, really loved, especially that first time I watched it, because, you know, the idea was thinking about how are they going to come in through the lens of Cobra Kai? Can they recast or reimagine the Cobra Kai lessons in a different way? And what I loved about that was that strike first, you know, it's not just about fighting and hitting the other guy first. It's about, you know, taking the initiative and being aggressive, like asking that girl out the way Miguel does. And I really loved that, and how it's sort of reimagined and from the 1980s sort of morality where it was this evil dojo to, you know, maybe there are some good lessons here that you can apply to your life. That was a great thinking, great writing, definitely all the way through. And of course, Miguel's asthma got cured. So there you go. I mean,
yeah, he never had asthma again. Yeah.
I mean, I think that almost tops Mr. Miyagi's like healing hands. Like, right?
Yeah. I never thought about that, but that's crazy. Yeah, definitely.
So they can both do the healing.
Oh, I just realized I forgot to mention it's Mary Mouser's birthday. Who the actress for Samantha Russo. So shout out to Mary Mouser. Happy birthday.
Yeah, there's birthday wishes all over the Twitter and Instagram for her, for sure.
Yeah. What, she's 24, right? She's someone say 24?
I guess I think so. I guess
that's crazy how she, like, you know what I mean? She's playing like a 16-year-old, but I mean, she looks like a teenager. Okay. Are we number 8? Are
number
we ready
8 for you? Go for it.
All right, so everybody, this is my last one from my bottom 3. Then Watch Party is gonna do his 10 through 8. So just to explain, and we got 30 people here, so thanks, guys. Number 8, episode 1. Oh my bad. Season 1, episode 6. Quiver. Eli becomes Hawk.
Oh, good one. But punt that one.
You're gonna punt that? Yeah, I had a feeling. Especially, you know, I saw your Hawk is the best character in Cobra Kai, so I knew that you were definitely having it on the list. I knew that you might punt it. So, all right. So really quickly, that means we're not gonna talk about it until we get to Watch Party's part on the list. Watch Party has that same one on his list, so we'll talk about that when we get to your part, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now your bottom 3, 10 through 8.
Okay, guys, here we go. Obviously there's a lot of good ones, but so I picked this one as number 10, episode 109, different but same. Aisha helps Yasmin to her car, giving her a front wedgie, no mercy, bitch. I love that.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's a great one. You know, and as I was even thinking about it, Yasmin is probably the least sympathetic character in the entire show so far. Like, there's really not one scene of her where she just seems kind of friendly or normal. Every episode, every scene, she's just so unlikable. And you know, that tension between Yasmin and Aisha was building all through the season. And of course, we relate to Aisha so much, and her arc in season 1 is so profound. That moment is so satisfying. You just sort of love it when she just sort of the bully gets her comeuppance, so to speak. And it was just a great moment. And like I said, you know, this is why I love Cobra Kai. I love seeing the transformation in the people as they become strong. And you know, Aisha stands up for herself. Like, you know, the little speech Yasmin gives her right before that, you're just a fugly bitch and your friends are all freaks. I mean, she's just so unlikable, and just Aisha doesn't put up with it anymore, you know? I mean, now Johnny said to Aisha when she first came in, you're going to send a message back with your fists. Well, she didn't use her fists, but I would say it's a little bit more creative.
So, yeah. I wonder like how she like thought of that. Was that just something off the spot? Like
I was definitely, I think, sort of an off the spot. I don't think they practiced that in Cobra Kai. That's not a lesson Johnny would teach.
Well, on the training dummy. On the training dummy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a funny scene. I really liked that one. And Yeah, Aisha was one of the second Cobra. You know, she was an OG. So I love her story, and I mean, it sucks we're not getting her in season 3. I don't know the whole story behind that, but season 1 and 2, I thought she was great.
Yeah. And I don't think she's gone forever. I think she's been back. There's more there, and we definitely are rooting for Aisha. Like I think one of the things when they said she won't be back in season 3, it was kind of like people realized how much they really do love Aisha, because everyone's like, you can't, we have to have her. We love her too much.
I know, yeah, exactly.
So definitely, so yeah, that's a great moment. Who do we have in the chat? Hannah Vogler. Daniel Russo showing Robbie how to take care of bonsai tree. Ah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's put the chat.
Okay, so I'll move on to my number 9. All right, yes, number 9, episode 203, Fire and Ice, Johnny's Cobra Kai commercial. Where we go, the bone crunching all-American karate. Gonna throw in the Cobra Kai snake at the end, making it chrome. And of course, you have to send it to the internet.
That scene was, oh my God, that was a funny scene.
It's a great one. Yeah. You know what's so good about that one is especially like the line, send it to the internet, which is all over because it's so repeatable. That's a great thing about comedy when it's so repeatable, especially obviously on the internet, social media. It's so great. So that's such a great moment. I debated all sorts of the comedy scenes, and I was thinking of having more, but definitely that one is probably the most repeatable one, and it's so fun.
And then and put some Thunderstruck over it, and it's like Aisha's like, I'm pretty sure the rights to that, like I'm pretty sure we don't have the rights to that, and he's like, oh no, got the cassette in my car, don't worry, we're good. Like
that, yeah, I know. It's almost like a YouTube joke, because obviously, if you own the cassette to it, you must own all the rights to it, right?
Oh my God. And then he kicked the bonsai in that guy's face, getting the dirt all on his face. Like,
yeah,
that was a great moment.
Cool. That's cool. Okay, I'll do my number 8 here.
Okay.
Number 8, episode 206, Take a Right. The OG Cobras, especially towards at the end, Tommy's confession and advice to Johnny. You still have time.
I'm gonna have to punt that. I'm gonna have to
punt that. Okay.
I'm gonna punt that. I'm gonna punt that.
I thought you may punt that one. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we'll talk about that when we. I have it pretty. It's not that low, but we'll talk about it soon. All right. So that's a punt. So now we're gonna get into our next 2, our bottom 2, which is 7 and 6. So I'll go first. So at number 7. I have season 2, episode 10, No Mercy, Daniel versus Johnny. So
good one.
Really funny story. I was in my history class. For some reason, it always the trailers, the sneak peeks always came out during my 6th period. It always came out during my 6th period. So I would always like checking my phone. I was hiding my phone, make sure to check all the alerts in case something came out. I had a sub. So thank God the trailer came out on that day. I was in my class, and that was the trailer where at the end, Daniel and Johnny were in the fight. And I was, my whole class was staring at me. I was like, what? I was going nuts. My whole class was like, what the hell are you doing? I had the headphones on, so none of them heard anything. They just saw me that part got me so hyped. That was one of the most hyped parts. And then we get to season 2, episode 10. It was short, and I'm sure we're going to get a better fight in the future. But that was the first fight. Everything led up to that. And I thought the flashbacks were amazing during that fight. What did you think about the flashbacks during the fight?
You know what was really great about it is it tied in specifically with the choreography in the fight. So like it shows, I forget, like in the flashback, Johnny's punching Daniel or something, and then it cuts to the actual fight where then he's getting hit back. So the flashbacks actually worked back and forth. Or like yeah, like what Daniel kicks in the fight, and then it jumps to the flashback of Johnny getting kicked in the face. Like, so it was a great, definitely the way they worked it back, weaved it back and forth. It's really good.
Yeah, for sure. I thought, well, no, well, you know, when you think about that kind of thing, they could have done it in a way where it would have ruined it. They could have made it like, they could have done it where it's like very choppy. And it's like, oh no, we just want to see the actual fight. But I thought it worked beautiful. I thought it really just tied everything. And when like Daniel's like, you want to finish this, Johnny? And then like, it was just so epic. I would have loved to see them finish it. But, you know, obviously they're holding it off for later because they're definitely fighting in like the future. I don't think they're teaming up so quick. I think we need another fight from them. But yeah, that moment it was quick, but it was epic, and I loved it.
You made a reaction video to that trailer, didn't you? It was on your other channel, DrewTube. Was it?
Yeah, that was like, yeah.
I think I saw it. Because I was watching all the reaction trailers. I mean, I had just started my channel, and I think I saw yours because I remember that. I assume it was you because it was like a kid like you, and then you just jumped up and fist pumped during that fight. So I think I saw your video on that a year ago.
Yeah, that was before I had this channel. So.
Yeah, interesting note. If you remember the trailer, they actually the shot of him getting kicked into the TV, they actually reversed it. So in the trailer, he's getting kicked to the left, I think, but in the actual show, it's to the right. And they reversed it in the trailer to keep the lines going, the sides the same. But actually, if you go back to the trailer, watch it, and then watch it in the actual episode, you'll see it got reversed in the trailer.
Yeah.
There's a little tidbit.
That's cool. I'm gonna have to rewatch that.
Yeah.
You know, someone mentioned to me that they changed the music from the first Cobra Kai trailer. I forgot who said it, but did you know that? The back in the game music? Trailer? The very first official trailer for season 1, you know how it had the back in the game music? They changed it to something different. I don't know if that's...
I don't know if they would do that. I don't know.
They did do it. So I don't know how they changed it without taking down the video. But
I don't know. YouTube could probably do whatever they want with their own videos, but...
True. All right, so are we good? Are we good on that?
There you go. Good on that one.
Okay, so number 6. Now we could both talk about it. I had Take a Right, the reunion. I just said like when they first. This is the OG Cobras. I just said like when they first reunited at the hospital, but you know we could talk about the whole
thing. Yeah,
the whole thing. You know why restrict this? So. Do you want to go first on that?
Well, yeah, I think this is a scene. So I make a lot of videos, so I'm in the show a lot, and there's scenes I just see over and over. If you watch my videos, I'll be using certain scenes over and over again, whether it's like the episode of KREESE teaching Tori No Mercy. That's been in so many videos I make, or the beach club scene. The thing is, just because of the nature of this particular story, I don't talk about the OG Cobras in a lot of my videos, so they don't come up a lot. So I've seen some scenes literally hundreds of times. I've been over it back and forth, but these particular scenes I don't see as much because I'm not editing them. I'm not using them for videos and such. And so, like when I recently rewatched sort of the show straightforward, you know, I actually see these scenes and I don't know them just word for word, shot for shot, the way I know everything else. And like, I was really just almost struck again, how good the scene at the campfire is with Johnny and Tommy. I think, you know, Rob Garrison's performance there is actually phenomenal. You know, and he confesses he had a secret crush or love for Allie, and then even more importantly, and it's so significant, you know, he tells Johnny, you know, you have something more valuable than all that. You still have time. It's such an important scene for Johnny. It's so well performed and so good. And then, of course, obviously, when, you know, he doesn't wake up and is prematurely put in a body bag, it's a great moment.
Yeah, that moment was tough to see because, I mean, it was it was. I don't even know what to say because like I can't say like, oh wow, that was such a good moment. He was put in a body bag. No, he was put in a body bag, but he was put in a body bag. Give him a body bag, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, that whole thing with Tommy and the original Cobra Kai gang, like it's funny because, you know, once again I watched Cobra Kai before watching Karate Kid, but I did go back and watch Karate Kid 1, 2, and 3 a couple times. So even though I'm not like someone from the 80s, I still feel the nostalgia when you see those like old Cobra Kai gang. I feel the nostalgia even though I wasn't, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, for sure.
So that was a great moment.
And
So,
I feel or hope we may be getting them again in season 3.
yeah.
So that would be cool in some fashion. We don't know, flashback or what.
Do you think they're gonna because I love the script, I love the plot for that episode. And like obviously you can't just do all nostalgic fan service stuff, but I feel like there should be a part where like they interact with KREESE. Do you think like Bobby or Jimmy?
It is something kind of uniquely, kind of the one thing that was missing from that. Now,
yeah.
Obviously they have issues with KREESE, as we saw. So, you know, and a question that's not entirely sure is, does KREESE know he was seeing them? Presumably KREESE would remember them too on some level. You know, did KREESE know it was Tommy who died, his former student? You know, that point isn't entirely clear. I felt like maybe he did, or Johnny told him at some point, you know, when he took, it seems like maybe a week or a couple weeks off, you know, to do the funeral and everything. Did KREESE know it was Tommy? I mean, we don't have a specific answer. I feel like probably yes, but we don't have that answer. It'd be worth to know that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I never even thought about like how much time passed because they make it seem like it's like a day later. But yeah, we know he had the funeral, so
yeah, because he comes back. So my impression was always it was at least a week or 2 weeks. You know, Johnny was gone, you know, helping and being with the other guys and such. You know, just sort of recovering that. You know, also enough time for KREESE to teach the proper way of the fist to the current Cobra students. You know, that's important too.
do you have a problem with that? I love that the hand. They specifically had him not do that. I saw this in an interview. They specifically not had him do this until season 2, episode 10, which I thought
right,
was
the very end. The very end. Yeah. It was more and more as it was going through the season, you know, because by 6, by Take a Right, he was putting his hands in his belt, the kind of thing he does, because when he's talking to Tori there in Miguel in that scene, he puts his hands in his belt. But yeah, it's definitely more and more as KREESE is getting back into the Cobra spirit.
Yeah. Oh my. I think season 3. I don't think we saw I think season 3 is KREESE's season. I think we're really gonna get a lot of him because in season 2 he was kind of just, it was him in the background. He wasn't at his full potential. He's at his full potential now. So
for sure,
I think it's gonna be his best season. So
for sure.
I'm excited. All right. So do you want to move to your number 7?
Yeah, so I'm going to number 7. What do I have here? Okay, yes, number 7, episode 109, Different But Same. Johnny and Daniel at the bar. Great scene. I love that. I even rewatched this one. I love how they sort of reminisce over Allie, and it sort of breaks the ice. I mean, even before that, it starts with you know, Johnny kind of talking about what KREESE meant to him, and then Daniel sharing, you know, how his father died when he was 8. So it's definitely just like a great moment where they realize they actually have more in common than they realized, you know, like initially. And then they have these issues, and then they start bonding over that, how they both found, you know, karate senseis who are surrogate fathers for them. And then of course it moves over to Allie, or then Daniel pulls her up on Facebook, and then they're drinking, and I do love the scene where they like look at Allie's husband. Look at that dumb face. And then Daniel's like, what an asshole. It feels so genuine to me. And and even the part where Daniel's explaining why he didn't like ever friend request Allie, I'm a happily married man, and she never friend requested me either. So, well, she's apparently happily married too. So,
what's a Facebook?
Right. Definitely a great moment. I think everything from that feels so genuine and so great, so well done. It's definitely and I know it has a parallel to the Mexican restaurant scene, but between those two, I do prefer them in the bar. I do prefer that one a little bit more than the double date scene. But I definitely really like that one. It's one of my favorite Johnny Daniel moments in the series so far.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely, there's a lot of funny moments in that. A lot of bonding. When they're not like they're. I feel like when they are like getting along, it's like they would be best buds. Like they could be like such good friends, but that's not gonna happen. Shirley Temple for the lady.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I'll take a Coke soda.
Okay. So let's see. I'll move on to number 6.
Yep.
Okay. Number 6, episode 208, Glory of Love, the roller rink sequence. So, now I just made a video on that this week, if you guys saw it. I think, as I thought about it, and this is something I've thought for a long time, out of the entire, like, that season 2 story arc between the love quadrilateral, Tori, Sam, Miguel, Robbie, everything that's going on, and I've thought for a long time, my favorite part of all of that really is the roller rink sequence. I think it's just so well done. It has a full arc, like that from the beginning to when the end, when they're cocked out. I think it's the best part of that entire story arc in all of season 2. I enjoy it the most. I really like it. I think there's just so much there to dissect and enjoy. Yeah, that's really what I like. I mean, obviously, like I said, I made a whole video on it now. But yeah, there's a lot. I like the tension back and forth between the characters and everything.
Yeah, I saw your video, and the reason why I really love your videos is because you show things in like a new light. Like, I didn't pick up on any of these things, like how I know you mentioned when they first, when Robbie and Samantha first interacted with Miguel and Tori, there was like a beginning, middle, and end in that one scene. So I found that very interesting. I never thought about that, and there was a lot of good stuff from that. Like it was a whole plot in that one segment.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. And that's what makes it good. It's a couple individual scenes with a whole like arc there, and then they all come together in overall and form a giant sort of arc in that episode. And it's my favorite part. I mean, I love the beach club is good. The party, Moon's party drinking is good, but like, it's more like just the direct confrontation, like where Sam walks up and then Tori kind of challenges her to a drinking contest. It's like a straight face off. Like it doesn't have that full building arc where it's sort of simmering and building between them and until it kind of explodes. So that's why I like that one the most out of that entire season 2 arc.
Yeah, I read that scene. That's a good one. So are you good? Do you want to move on to number 5?
Yeah, let's go ahead. What's your number 5?
So basically how now that we're at number 5, we're gonna alternate. So I'm gonna say my number 5, you'll say your number 5, 4, and so on. And yeah, so at number 5, I didn't want to say it, and I don't think it was a punt because it was the same episode as you, but completely different scene, but same characters. So season 1, episode 9, different but same. But I have Daniel and Johnny in the car singing "Take It on the Run." That's my number 5.
That's a great moment.
I freaking love that scene so much. I made a video saying Daniel and Johnny need to go do karaoke. And look, I know it's a stretch. But just hear me out. They're at a bar. They're at a bar, and it ends up being a karaoke bar. And some people force them up on stage. You know, that's not like people force them up on stage. They're forced to sing. It could happen because they're not choosing to do it. It's not like a random musical. They're being made to do it, but I would love that. They both were really bad at singing, which made it even funnier too. They're singing like really high pitch, and like, you know, you have Johnny who's like just jamming. Daniel, like it's like Johnny's driving really fast, and then Daniel's like, "Whoa, like slow it down," and then Johnny's like, "Relax, Danielle," like you know, and then like it's like they play "Take It on the Run." Both of them are nodding their heads. None of them want to like admit that they like it, and then like they're like I'll turn it off if you want. It's like no, it's good. And then I know you had the bar scene, and I love that whole sequence, but that single sequence I love. So what do you think about that one?
Oh yeah, that's definitely that's like where you first get the hint, like that they have this connection that they're where they just start like grooving to the song and beat, like that the whole thing. Yeah, right, just like that. There you go.
Yeah, I'll whenever I'm in the car, I'll put on the song and I'll be like, I'll just nod my head.
And the callback to when they're in the dealership and he's like, you know cars, and he's like, what kind of man doesn't? And then when they're in the thing, what is it? You like Speedwagon? What kind of man doesn't?
Yeah, I mean it's REO Speedwagon, so
right,
that was like what's not to love about that? So that's my number 5.
There you go. All right.
So now
my number 5. Episode 210, No Mercy, the school fights.
Wait. Punt. Oh wait, no, never mind. I have it at number 4. So we can
do it right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my number 4. All right. So
all right. Yes. Obviously, it's huge. It's amazing. Really, every part of it is really good and really well done. All the characters, I love it. You know, I mean, I did a video essentially breaking it down from what was leading up to it through everything after it. But it's so good. The especially emphasis on the oneer shot, the one it starts with Moon there. It is Moon who dressed for the first day of school like a genie in a lamp is how I put it in my video. And it goes through them and fighting, and it's so good. They did a lot of switches with the stunt doubles in there. I may throw something up on Instagram showing those. But it's really good. The whole way through, it's sort of the fight scene we want, right? Like it's every good. And it's also built like it gets more intense as it's going along. Something when I made the video, I pointed out when they're up the stairs, and after it's the moment after Tori kind of kicks Miguel away, and it comes back to it, and everything is just more intense, more personal. So the fight itself has its own arc as it's getting more intense, more brutal to each other, more personal. Every part of it's got some funny moments with Stingray. Obviously, he's great, and then the two young ones, Bert and Nathaniel, are great. So the whole part of it. I personally wish Cobra Kai won a few more of the fights, but it is what it is.
But I mean they're doing that to set it up, because now you have Cobra Kai who's on top, and they're gonna want revenge. So I actually like how they did that, because like, look, should Hawk have beaten Dimitri? Sure, but now Hawk is gonna seek more revenge, and he better win. He better win a damn fight in season 3. He's got his ass kicked in every single fight
all the time. Even little sparring with Miguel, you know, he lost everything.
Exactly that like 5-second scene he lost. Like,
yeah, I know, right?
yeah, so hopefully, but I think one of the standouts from that fight. Oh, by the way, I agree with your point 100%. That was a very good point about how it built up, and I think one of the things that shows that is the music. At first, it starts it's a fun, even though there's nothing fun about it. It's a fun school fight. You have everybody who's just but
kind of like rock music, almost like, you know.
It's like rock surfer music.
Right.
Yeah, and then as they go up the stairs, that's when it gets more intense. They were right by the balcony. I remember I was watching for the first time, and I'm like, they're awfully close to the balcony. Like, can you what's going on? They're very close to, you know. I was like unsure because they were so close, fighting next to it. So I knew that something was gonna happen. But me, Hawk. Jacob Bertrand was absolutely phenomenal in that whole sequence. The whole sequence.
Yeah, I love when he does his roar at the very beginning of it. Yeah.
For me, when he gets punched in the face and then he like smiles and like licks the blood, that was insane. Like, he's a madman. And then like it looked like they like sped it up in fast motion. That's how fast he was going, but he was all out. He put everything into it. So, I mean, I've liked him before, but that scene, I was scared of him. I was like, that I do not want to mess with him.
In your live you did with Cholo, didn't he tell you Jacob was kind of inspired by was it an anime or something? There was a character in some anime, I don't know it, but that he kind of like bases a lot of that off of.
Yeah, that's that. I found that so cool. I think what he said is like when he was after Dimitri in the library or the computer room, he was like Dimitri, like come out, you damn nerd, and like the way he said it, he was like to show like dude, I sounded like that guy from My Hero Academia, which is the anime show. So. I thought he was phenomenal in that fight, but so was everyone else. And I stunt doubles, the one shot, how they just had it one shot and they kept switching. I thought that was crazy.
Definitely, yeah, definitely great. Very well done. So that's definitely what we hope. And they say they're going to top it in season 3. So while we don't know when season 3 will be out, it will be topped there in the school fight will be topped. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, guys, we don't know when season 3 is coming out. Please, I've had to make a couple posts about that because I still have people asking me.
Every day, yeah.
It's crazy, but it is what it is. So
that was year 4, right? My 5, year 4.
So now you're 4.
My 4. Okay, here we go. Episode 105, Counterbalance, the cafeteria fights.
Punt.
Punt it.
That's a punt.
Okay.
That's a punt. All right. So we'll talk about that when we get to my ranking because it's higher up. So I know you understand. I'm just trying to explain it for everyone.
For the new ones, yeah.
I'm not. I know you get it, but All right. So now, is it my number 3?
Yeah. So now you're on number 3. Go ahead.
Okay. So now we have top 3. So number 3, season 1, episode 5, Counterbalance, but it's Slither, Miguel's opening training.
I'm surprised you have that at 3. I thought you'd have it higher. I knew you'd have that.
Yeah. You'll see what I put.
Okay.
But that scene, first off, I think Slither is the best piece of music in the whole show. It's my favorite music. It's Miguel's transformation because I know you talked about how in like certain scenes you have arcs, and even in that whole training montage, he starts off not being able to do the baseball thing, getting beat up by Johnny. Johnny's choking him. But then by the end of that montage, he's able to do all this stuff. The music's great. And it's like you see like him in all these different environments. In the dojo, you have him like switching clothes, which shows like it's not just one day, it's over the course of a lot of days. He's running like in like Los Angeles, like he's out on the streets. He's not just inside. You see the push-ups. I love the push-ups. It's amazing, and it's just
the way it cuts from his home to the dojo right at the beginning. That's a great cut.
Yeah, that's an amazing cut, and everything is built up to that moment because we had a training montage in season 1, episode 3, where he was doing the kicking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but and it was good, but you know, that was more like a fun little montage. But this one, you knew he meant business. You knew he was getting better, and then the whole thing, he ends up kicking Johnny. I just love it, and Miguel's my favorite character, so like that scene inspires me, you know. So yeah,
great one. Great one. All right, so number 3 for me.
What do you have any thoughts on that one or no?
Oh, on the training montage.
If there's anything you want to
like as I just said, I mean it's put together great. It's sort of that feeling. Like when I first saw it, it's like you had a montage right at the beginning of 3, and then we have like another montage. Like it's like one montage in 5, but like it's definitely where you really feel him pulling through now and getting the strength. And like he manages to sweep the leg on Johnny, builds it up. So that's definitely and I know it's your favorite song. It's a great song. Maybe my second favorite, but
what's your first favorite?
Well, that's coming up.
Oh wait, are you talking about like music?
Yeah, music.
Oh, okay, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, definitely. Where we're really rooting for Miguel, and we're seeing that he's changing himself and really building himself up. It's that definitely a great training montage of that one.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so you got your number 3?
Number 3 for me. Number 3, episode 105, Counterbalance. Daniel at Mr. Miyagi's grave.
Yeah.
And also the grave, that scene, and then where he's in the car, especially where he kind of sees Mr. Miyagi again, reliving that moment from the first movie. Lesson about balance, not just karate only. Lesson all life, all balance. Yeah, it's definitely I think a moment we needed. It was great for obviously Daniel there, and seeing him sort of reconnect with himself and reconnect with Mr. Miyagi, remembering Mr. Miyagi and what Mr. Miyagi meant to him. So definitely a moment we were looking for, even without even realizing it, that this needed to happen. And it's something reliving that moment. And it's a great moment for Miyagi. It's a great moment in the episode. I feel like there's 2 halves of it. Like that's the first half. The second half is the end where Daniel puts back on his gi and the headband and everything and starts training again. So great moment there.
Yeah, I was definitely considering those 2. I ended up not putting them on my list because I mean, like it's just so hard. There's just so many. It's like like that was my number like 5 or my number 3, but like at the same time, there's just too much. But both those moments where he goes to the cemetery and then puts on the gi. But when he goes to the cemetery, just so beautiful, and you see like how that's like the missing piece in his life. He has the family, he has the house, he has the money, he has the dealership, but he doesn't have that like fatherly advice because he's not perfect, and we all know that. So he's missing that Miyagi side. And I think after that whole thing, when he opens up Miyagi, it's just a beautiful setup. Episode 5 was amazing. All of it.
Yeah. I mean, I would probably call that my favorite episode, Counterbalance. So definitely, yeah, there's so much that's so great in it.
Yeah, that was my second favorite episode, and you'll see what my first favorite episode is. I'll make a video on that. I'm doing like a top 5 video thing.
I think I know what it is, but yeah, I'll watch it.
Oh yeah, I mentioned it, but and I'll get to that because that's
Mhm.
coming up on the list. My favorite episode. But so are we good on
We're
that?
good there. Go ahead. You're number 2.
Number 2, which you had, which I punted, season 1, episode 5, counterbalance cafeteria fight. So, do you want to start on this one?
Well, I think it's so far the best fight of the show so far, and it's worth noting. Even Hayden, who's now seen all 3 seasons, said it was still his favorite fight. I think it's so great because it's everything you want. Like Miguel finally comes into his own. He takes on the bullies. It's so well done. Someone even put on, I think, your tweet or somewhere, like where he punches Kyler in the face. Like it's such a great moment where Kyler like moves the punch, Miguel blocks it and has him, and it's like it's Cobra Kai, and then punches him right in the face. It's such a great moment. Everything, the fighting, the choreography, how Cholo played that. He even on his live stream the other day, he talked about how as he was flipping over the table, like he missed the tray, but then grabbed it with his other hand, and it looks so good. It's so perfect.
It looks better than I think if he actually did grab it with the right hand. So I think missing it made it look cooler. That scene is one of my favorites by far. Miguel is my favorite character, so like to have like that moment where like, every time he stood up to Kyler, he's gotten his ass kicked. So, he sees Samantha getting like made fun of by Kyler. So he doesn't hesitate. He's like, Kyler, like, shut the hell up and stop being such an asshole. And I love saying those lines. I love that part. I love that part. Like, want another beatdown, Rhea? I'm ready for your Lame Karate. This time, and it's not Lame Karate, it's Cobra Kai. That whole part is great. And there are shows or movies where you have those moments which are forced. They have the main one guy beating up all 4 of those bullies would be unrealistic at a lot of points. But these guys have never done karate before, and he's been training, and you see the actual moves that Johnny taught him with the slither. So it's not just him being an OP character with all these skills for the writing. It actually feels genuine. Like he's actually putting it all together, and he beats them all up. And it was his turning point. He needed that moment, because after that, it was like the bullies were the antagonists of episodes 1 through 5. After that, they weren't even in the picture. He overcame that obstacle. He needed them to like move to his next level. And you even see how like he builds his confidence, how he's a different person, and I freaking love that scene so much.
Yeah, it is. I definitely think it's the best fight so far. Obviously we're not alone in that. So it's just such a great triumphant fight scene. It's everything we want when we watch Cobra Kai. It's so great.
And really quickly, another funny thing, I'll be in my cafeteria at school, put on my headphones, I'll put on the music, Venomous, which is a music of when he's beating up all the bullies, and I'm like looking out, like if there's anyone being picked on, I know the lines. I'll be like, hey man, stop being an asshole. And I'll get ready to bust some karate in front of everyone in the cafeteria. I'll get beat up. I'll end up going to the nurse's office, so I won't be like Miguel and winning, but I just love it. That's the only part about, I don't really like school, but when I go to school, I put on my headphones, I listen to Cruel Summer, like it gets me I picture everyone throwing each other against the lockers, like it's like no, but like it's not like
we need a school fight in here.
I'm just like gonna punch someone, start over, but like in a fun way, not like not like messed up. Like it's just like for the fun of the show. So yeah, that's my number 2. So
yes, good number 2. All right, so my number 2 then. Is that where we are?
Yeah.
Okay, number 2. Episode 101, Ace Degenerate, the ending montage of that episode. Everything from basically when Daniel says it was Cobra Kai and then Johnny leaves the dealership and the music starts right there, everything from that on is just truly awesome. I love it. I love how he dropped the bonsai, which is probably my favorite part of your recreation too. It's just I love that so much. Like I love that so much. Like, and you did it so well too. It's so good.
I have the bonsai. It's not broken, everybody.
It's not broken.
I'll make a video on that. But like, we basically bought another pot and like broke and put grass. I just want to mention that I'm not a bonsai killer. So sorry. Keep going.
No, the montage and like I said, like when I first watched Cobra Kai, like that's like the moment where you're like, it's so good, and he's like, are you ready? Because once you go down this path, you can never go back. And like that's like it's so good. And then he puts on the bandana, you know, the strike first, strike hard, no mercy. And then you're like, you know what? I'm gonna watch the next episode. I want to keep going. It was so good, and that's where you're just so drawn into it. And you know, he makes that decision to open up that dojo. Like I said, I love it. It comes from Daniel, you know, talking about Cobra Kai, and then the whole part. I mean, I love that music. It's so good.
Yeah, that I know you are very like, because you do a lot of breakdowns. So with your scenes, you memorize a lot of these scenes that you break down. Episode 1 of Cobra Kai, I know the ins and outs. I'm not the whole show. I'll admit that. But episode 1, I've been watching it every day for like a year, working on my thing. So I love that whole episode, and it's my favorite episode. I'm gonna get to my number 1, but it's the perfect setup. Just as you said, like, are you ready to go down this path? Like, once you go down, turning back, it's, you know what's gonna happen. It's about to be Cobra Kai. Like, I think it's an amazing setup.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, like it's that ending there, and the episode and the ending is like where you're like, you know what, I need to watch the next episode because you are now hooked on this show. You want to see what happens next. So good.
That's a credit to the writing, and like from the beginning of the episode, you have a Johnny who's down in the dumps, has nothing. There's no reason for him to open Cobra Kai. Then by the end of the episode, you have him open Cobra Kai, but there's so many like nuances throughout the episode that really lead up to that. I think it's a beautiful pilot. It's a perfect setup. I think just the whole thing, storytelling was amazing. Just for that.
Absolutely. It's so much fun. It's just fun. You enjoy it. Yeah,
for sure. So are you good on that one?
I'm good. So are you on your number 1 now?
I am on my number 1. So
all right.
Number 1 comes from. Thank you. Wait. Wait. I have like a sound effect machine. Very convenient. I knew this moment would happen. So
yeah, there you go.
All right. Number 1. I'm trying to build the suspense here. So number 1, season 1, episode 1, Ace Degenerate. Head games. Johnny in the car, head games, listening to head games on the radio, reminiscing his past. This is my favorite scene from the whole show. It has been ever since I saw it. And like, so first off, this was one of my favorite scenes from my recreation because there was a bunch of different things to put in there. So I love how it just kept flashing from everything, and like if you think about it, he's in his car, and like forget the flashbacks. If you're looking at him in his car, he's like doing this. He's like, and then he's like, you know, he's like getting the emotions from his thoughts. You know what I mean? So if you're watching him in his car, you're seeing him smiling, you're seeing him getting angry, and one of the reasons that scene stands out to me is because, like, you know, I'll have those moments where, like, I'm thinking about, like, a mistake I made, and, like, you know, nobody knows what I'm thinking because I'm thinking it, and I'll just be like, damn it, like, what could I have done differently? Like, I was so close or whatever, maybe I did this wrong. And then you have him smiling when he thinks about Allie and all that. And
right, yeah.
you know, when I have like good memories, I'll just be like, I'll just like smile and think about it. So, and like they told the whole Karate Kid story in that 1 minute montage, which that was my first time really understanding the whole Karate Kid story. So I love how they told that. And they have the crane kick like 3 times.
Yeah, where he's like, blah, 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 like he keeps remembering it.
He keeps remembering it, and it's like he's banging the steering wheel, and it's like so relatable because, like, you know, you have those moments, you have some moments that you regret, you wish you could have done differently, and that's what he's going through. And it's like it's a beautiful scene, but it's like also like you feel so bad for him. In the beginning, he's smiling. I love the shot when you see Allie, and then he like has that smile, and the music. That music, first off, was a great song, Head Games by Foreigner. I love that song now because of that. But it went perfect with that scene, and it was just by far for me. So.
It's just that's it. And it's such a great moment. And then what happens after? Then he's remembering the parking lot with Kreese and everything, and just the whole thing. And, yeah, and I love that they used footage from the Karate Kid that wasn't in the movie. Other shots of the crane kick. It was like the close up of him getting hit, and that's what they use, and it's really good.
I know
they kept doing that.
Yeah, that's an amazing scene for me.
Yeah,
number one.
There you go.
Until season 3, you never know.
Yeah, I know. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a. Well, who knows? So, whatever season 3 comes.
No one knows. Like, we can't even we don't have anything to base it off of. So it's just like Daniel's going to
something I've pointed out now so far. Basically, our top couple here from you and me since like number 4 have been from Counterbalance and now Ace Degenerate. Like they're all the top of our lists are from there.
Those are my 2 favorite episodes. So
I mean, they're definitely at the top for me too. So
what's your second favorite episode? Is that your second favorite episode, or do you have
Ace Degenerate? It could be. I haven't really thought of second favorite because I haven't put them in order, but I know I have Counterbalance in number 1 for me. So
yeah, cool.
Except, so you want me to do my number 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Now this is definitely a Watch Party's number 1.
Wait, 1 second.
Oh yeah, get the sound effect.
Okay, we're ready.
All right, my number 1, episode 106, Quiver. Eli flips the script. He enters and it becomes Hawk. My absolute favorite part. I love the music. Quiver is my favorite song in the show. Slightly better than Slither. But you know, and I mean, I love Hawk, and for what I was saying, like when you first started, what draws you to the show, like the original premise. Well, yeah, it's a continuation of Karate Kid, but it's from the perspective of who the bad guy was, right? And then you watch it, you know, from Johnny Lawrence's perspective, and you know, with Cobra Kai, we get this idea from the beginning of the first episode, right? The montage at the end, where he opens the dojo, and then you're like, you get so invested that you want to root for Cobra Kai and believe in Cobra Kai, and then you get, you know, Miguel's training, and Miguel beats Kyler in the fight, and Aisha joins, and you think like maybe this can happen. Now we have 2 students, and maybe they're getting a little bit better, and sort of the whole climax of that part there is in Quiver. Now he has a full dojo, and it's a full dojo of kids who can learn to be badass. And, you know, Hawk is the proof of that. Now we have the proof. It is a full dojo. It is not just like a fluke. It, you know, the whole Eli flipped the script, but what happened is the writers, you know, the producers sort of flipped the entire script on us from the 1984 original, where Cobra Kai was the bad guys. You know, they were jerk assholes. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy was so evil. And now we're rooting for it. We see there can be good in it. We can see it can make a difference in someone's life, as Johnny later says at the All Valley Committee. And I love Hawk for that. I love that scene. I've watched that scene so many times. I'll be editing videos and I'll be going by that scene. And I'll just stop and watch it 2 times, just because I love everything about it. And he's reliving that moment. That episode opens with a flashback to Johnny watching KREESE teach the students, and then it ends with him teaching his own students. And we have that sort of complete circle, and we're now rooting for Cobra Kai, and we definitely rooting for Hawk. He's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. That was probably one of the best. When I say Cobra Kai, I don't mean like the whole show. I mean like one of the best of like that dojo with Johnny and the students. That was probably the best episode with all of them, because you have like throughout the episode, no one knows what they're doing. Like everyone's quitting. He's like nice shirt, thanks. I'm just kidding. It sucks. Like there's just so much great stuff. And then even with that scene that you said, even before that, I love the part before that too, where he's telling, before Hawk comes in, where he's telling them, I used to be you. I used to be the weirdo kid. And he points right at Bert. This is my favorite part. He points at Bert and he's like, he points at little Bert with the glasses, little tiny Bert. He points at Bert and he's like, I used to be the weirdo kid. Not that weird. I still hooked up with babes and all. But I know. And then Bert's just like, it's just like funny. But yeah, yeah.
Well, there's an under theme to this. Like Johnny was like the bully, right? So he's the bully from the 1980s movie, and he's still like the bully, but it also shows like that the bully can also be inspirational to the kids to better themselves, which is what happens, which is what Eli does. He takes control of his own condition. And I kind of brought this up in the video I made on Hawk, because I did make a video on Hawk. Eli is kind of controlling himself, and then he sort of controls his interactions with other people rather than letting himself be controlled. Yeah. And it's sort of Johnny's teaching as kind of like the bully that almost inspires Eli to become Hawk like that. So
yeah, for sure. I think look, Miguel had a big transformation, but that was just in terms of karate. Mm-hmm. Hawk, it wasn't even karate. It was just his personality, and he was a different person. He wasn't Eli. He became Hawk, and we see later that it does good for him and it does bad. I think it definitely, in the long run, is better for him because the other alternative would, he's just a loser. He's depressed his whole life, Mm-hmm. And I feel like he'll be redeemed at some point. I don't know when, I don't know how, but
I'm sure. I'm counting on it. Hawk will be redeemed. He'll get the girl, all of it.
Yeah, Moon. You think he'll get Moon?
Yes, I'm rooting. They're the only couple I'm rooting for.
Really?
Miguel and Sam, Miguel, Tori, Robbie and Sam. People are like Robbie and Tori. I don't even Johnny and Carmen. I know people like them. Really, the only one I'm really rooting for is Hawk and Moon. I want them together. I think I love that they're like opposites. As I even called them way back in my review, they're like the war and peace couple.
Yeah.
I love them as a couple. So, they don't have a lot of screen time together so far, but yeah, I definitely root for them. Maybe it's just because I root for Hawk, and actually I root for Moon too. I love Moon. So I love Hawk. I love Moon. I love Hawk and Moon as a couple. So.
Is Hawk your favorite character in the whole show?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, cool.
I like Hawk. Yeah.
Who's your second favorite character, if you have one?
Probably Johnny. Yeah. In fact, I was just thinking of this. It's like Hawk, Johnny, and then I'd probably do Miguel. But then that puts Daniel down at like what, number 4? but that's probably the order for me.
Yeah. Cool, man. Cool. Mm-hmm. So we got our top 10 list. So
there you go. Yep.
We did it, and ours was so it was like the last 5, right? We're pretty similar. I think
definitely from the same episodes for the most part. Yeah.
How many of the same ones did we have? We had cafeteria fight, the school fight,
Eli becomes Hawk.
The original Cobra Kai. reunion, and then I mean I don't know if you want to count the Daniel and Johnny in episode 9 because
it was like two parts of like the same story arc, really.
Yeah,
like you had the first part of it, I had the later part of it.
Yeah, so that's we got half of it.
Yeah,
half the same. I had no idea what your list was going to be, but you have a really good list. So
cool. Your list is pretty great itself, man.
Thanks, thank you. And really quickly, are you making that video on Miguel's on Sholo's post?
Make sure. Do people want me to? I guess I can. It's going to be mostly humor, like.
Everybody drop
people watching who don't know, Cholo put up a spoiler picture. He did a live stream of just like going over his personal picks from the sets from season 1 and 2, and then he showed one picture from season 3 that was that he cropped, he cut it, you know. I mean, he's like, it is like a whole episode revolves around what's like in this picture. I just saw, was it on Reddit? Someone said something really interesting on Reddit about what it is, and it, like, asserted all this stuff. It's like, wow, how does this guy know all this? But it could be true. I don't know. I'll double check, because someone said it was from, if you go to Reddit, you can see it. The Sports Illustrated, the Alina, he said, is Catalina, which is an island off of Southern California. Really could be, who knows. Interesting about all that. I don't know if any of that plays into whatever, but definitely different from my theory, but my theory would make fans happy anyway.
Yeah, I wanted to pin that comment. It's a good comment. Rest in peace, Pat. But what's it go? Oh, so you saw my video. I made a video on it. So yeah. I'll probably release that, like, I don't know, like tomorrow or the next day. It's a funny video. It's nothing serious. So yeah. But yeah, you I think you should make one. You know, I think a lot of people would like it. Comment 1. I don't know if you want Watch Party to make a video.
A Watch Party investigation. Like I said, I'm very, like, I'm not as confident on what I think. It's just sort of like an idea. Like, I don't have really much confidence on it, but Owen Morgan.
Yo, oh my God. We got himself. We're just talking about him.
I guess that's the only one I need, right?
That's it, man. That's it. Bert.
Everyone's looking for a Bert Nate rematch in season 3.
I think we need it. Bert wasn't at the Cobra Kai dojo. Where was he? That's the question that I have. That's my big question.
I hope he wasn't grounded, Josh. He's gonna sneak out and go to karate class. John Hurwitz, no spoilers, Owen. So John pops in.
Oh my God, this is funny. Oh my God, dude. Bert, I'm excited. I think
maybe Bert was just, forget it, looking for his rematch already. So season 3 will open with Bert and Nate fighting, like in the school parking lot, like they're still going at it.
Thank you, John Hurwitz.
Thank you, John. Thank you for stopping in.
What about Bert going to Okinawa? Like,
well, you know, I've said, if you watch the fandom, pretty much every character in the show has now been predicted to go to with Daniel to Okinawa. Every character except Moon. That's the only one. That's what I was thinking. Like, every character has been predicted to go to Okinawa except Moon.
If you had to guess, who's going with Daniel?
If it's anyone, and maybe he does go by himself. I mean, it's weird. Not many people have said maybe he just goes by himself. I don't know. You know, Brianna is about the only one who put that forward as a possibility. I said Sam. I had reasons that made sense to me, depending on like the direction of the character in the show. That was my first guess. It was actually something I was thinking before even they announced it. So that's why that was my guess. Maybe that happens, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe it's by himself. Maybe Okinawa's all a flashback. We don't know. So until we see something, I just want to know. Actually, are we even going to see Okinawa in the trailer? That's something. We'll know more. Like if there's these shots of Okinawa in the trailer, we'll have a little bit of idea of what's going on. I don't know what's going to be in the trailer or not. So.
Yeah, me too. But I think I actually said before, I think he's going by himself because I think that Sam is going to be with Miguel. I think Johnny and Robbie have stuff to do. I feel like everyone has to deal with stuff. I feel like Daniel's going to go by himself and regather his thoughts by himself.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe now I'm leaning a little bit more towards that until we see something in the trailer. I don't know. We'll see. It's his roots. So now I'm thinking, maybe Okinawa's as much about Mr. Miyagi as it is about Daniel. Because people say like, his roots. And if you think about it, Daniel's roots, this is why like people say Chosen Kumiko. But Daniel's roots or whatever are not chosen in Kumiko. The roots are Mr. Miyagi. So in regards of what Okinawa will be and who's in it, I mean, maybe it'll be more about Daniel and Mr. Miyagi. And Mr. Miyagi's past with Sado, which I brought up in the video I made. So,
yeah, I think I if I had to say, I would say 95% it's not going to be a flashback because I don't think they would tease it if it weren't. They wouldn't have revealed that if it was just a flashback.
Well, I think it could be both. Like he's goes and then as he's learning or whatever it is. So we'll have to see.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like there could be flashbacks, but oh wait, we got a comment from John Hurwitz. I wish I was able to give you all more info. Believe me, the wait is more painful for me than it is for you all. Things should be a lot clearer to everyone by the end of May. All right, Watch Party. What do you think about that? Does that mean
that's why I have to do a video on this comment here?
Yeah, okay, dude. Just make the video right now. All right, does this mean we're gonna get
basically what he's saying is everyone's gonna get a pair of glasses by end of May, and so you'll finally be able to see in 2020 vision. It'll be more clear.
I'm hoping we get an announcement before the trailer because I want to kind of know when it's gonna, you know what I mean? Like at least a 1 day in advance or something.
It sounds like he's reacting to what we're saying, and maybe something like we're kind of like hovering over it, but we don't know if that's why he means, but it'll be clear. Like we'll see a trailer and like it'll be clear what's going on. So maybe if I can interpret that, maybe we will get a little bit of info about Okinawa in the trailer, hopefully in some form. I'm sorry, that's now official.
Yeah, guys, we don't know when season 3 is coming. But I just saw like literally before we did the stream, May 16th, I believe they're doing some sort of virtual thing with Ralph Macchio, Billy Zabka, and Martin Kove. So that's like, did you see that on my story?
Oh yeah, I just saw that. Yeah, did you post it, or it was on your story? You put it on your story.
I just posted it. Yeah,
I saw it from you. Yeah, that there's some like, what do you call it? The web interview, right? Sort of. I mean, they're gonna be live with what is it? Billy and Ralph and Martin Kove, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We haven't even heard them in like interviews since last year, really. So hopefully we get some.
Yeah, I don't know if they're getting the green light to say anything during this. No, we'll see, I guess. But I guess let's all look forward to the end of May. Until then, I guess maybe we'll just put out videos on Cholo's pictures. So.
Yeah, stay tuned. I got a funny video coming out. So, and Watch Party. I'd be curious to hear what you think. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fans will like it. I don't think it's true. That's what I prefer to have my videos. At least it could be true. Like I'm less sure of it. I mean, I told you what I think, but it would. The fans would like it. So who knows?
Watch it like not even be anything. It's just like literally like it has nothing to do with the show. It's like something that's in for one
Well,
second.
yeah, it could be. It just could be the sort of thing like you could never guess beforehand. Like it'll make sense after you've seen season 3, but beforehand you can't really pull anything out of it. Like imagine if someone just put a picture of a roller skate before you knew anything about season 2 and say, "Whoa, this is a spoiler out of context for season 2," right? And you just saw a roller skate. Well, yes, it is, but you wouldn't know. Okay, there's a whole scene at a roller rink. You wouldn't know that the back and forth between Sam and Tori and Miguel and all that. Miguel confronting Sam. You know, like you wouldn't know anything. It wouldn't make any sense until after you've seen it. You would just know, okay, there's a roller skate. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, maybe that would be a little more clear than this one. This one, there's like literally no context. It's cut off words. So
Right.
it's a tough one. But I mean, hey, at least we got sort of confirmation that even we might not be. It's not a trick. Oh wait, Rudy said something. Wait, he said something else. Love all 3 seasons of Cobra Kai. If you love season 1 and 2, I'd be shocked if you don't love season 3. Oof. I'm so excited. So we're gonna get something.
I wonder how many, if we have to redo our top 10 list after season 3, like how many parts are we going to have to kick out to make room for new spots, new moments from season 3? I mean, statistically, you would think 3 or 4 if they're equal, but you know, we'll see.
Yeah, we could do that. We could definitely do that. And maybe some scenes will like take not even like not that they're better, but maybe some scenes from season 3 will affect how we see some from season 1 and 2. And I don't know. So I'm excited for it. So we're getting something before the end of May. I don't know what it is. It might not be a trailer, but we're getting something. So that's pretty cool. At least we got confirmation on that. So you heard it right here, guys. We're getting something.
Well, clarity. We're gonna get clarity or clear.
Like on the trailer?
That's what he said. It'll be more clear, or it'll be clearer after.
What will be clear? What will be clear? I'm kidding. I'm excited. I can wait. I'll just Miyagi. Just
there you go. Find your balance. Remember, lesson balance, not just karate only.
Not just karate, but also for waiting for Cobra Kai season 3.
Waiting for season 3.
Yes, he says. Okay, he says yes. Clarity.
Clarity.
Wait, what is that? I don't know.
Could you be more clear about what you mean by clarity?
Clarity on what? Like the trailer or the show? And we got Aiden Schlossberg here too.
Hey,
it's crazy. Wait, is this him? Because he
had some picture before, but maybe he changed it. I don't know.
Yeah. Wait. I just want to wait and see if he says, "Can you give us?" I don't want to ask, but like. Are you just like leaving it open-ended, just clarity on? I'm just curious, like, is this
clarity? Clarity.
There's literally like, I mean, I get that too. Oh wait,
I said too much.
Clarity, dude. We're getting clarity. We know all the secrets of the show.
Clarity, yes.
That's the key word. And oh my god, this is funny. Yeah. All right. So do you think he's gonna? Oh, cool. Sean Thacker from Cobra Kai. So do you think he's gonna?
You're welcome, Sean.
Do you think are we getting any more or no?
We probably have all the clarity we're gonna get.
Oh man, the anticipation. I mean, I don't know. So I mean, I'm excited for it. I think it'll be amazing. So clarity. So I don't know what that means, but yeah, man. Thank you for coming. I had a great time. We had a lot of great moments, and
a lot of great moments. Yeah.
Was there any one moment that like killed you to not put on the list? Was there one moment that just stood out to you?
I mean, well, I mean, a lot of the ones you had that I didn't have were things I considered too. You know, definitely, you know, and and it's also like what criteria to want to use. Like things like the beach club scene is a scene like I've talked about in my videos a hell of a lot. Like I come back to that scene because there's so much going on there. So you talk about it. There's a lot to talk about. That's really interesting. But like, is it like I loved it? So like, is the criteria I'm going to use something that like I can just talk about for a long time and think about and analyze and dissect, or is it something I just purely loved? Like compared to like I talked about the scene when with Tommy's scene and Take a Right at the end, like it's a scene I don't talk about much at all, really, just because it's not relevant to the videos, but it's something I really loved versus scenes I talk about all the time, you know. So it's like what criteria I'm going to use. Like, so there's scenes that are really significant in terms of story and everything that are really interesting, you can think about and all of that. It's just a matter of like what criteria you're going to use. So there's definitely a lot there.
Yeah, really quickly, I'm sorry to cut you off, but not the real Hayden Schlossberg, guys. So
yeah, because Hayden has like an avatar picture for him. It's not of him. I don't know what that picture is, but
yeah,
maybe it's from a movie or something. I didn't look at it. I just know it's not actually him. So
how do we know this isn't the real? Oh, there
it is. There is the real one.
Dabney Coleman.
Well, there you go, Dabney Coleman. I now know who Dabney Coleman is.
I'll have to search that up. I have no idea. But that was I had so many scenes. Daniel looking at his poster from season 1, episode 10. That was one I really wanted to put up in there. Do you know what I'm talking about? At the tournament.
Oh yes. There when he's looking at himself, right?
That gave me goosebumps. I'm trying to think. Daniel doing the kata, like getting back into the karate. And then there was, wait, what'd you say?
And counterbalance, yeah.
There's like easily like there could easily be like 5 moments from the whole show in that. Like even Aisha coming to the dojo, that's such a great moment.
It is a great moment, and I love when Johnny's like, she's like, they send me messages, they tell me to kill myself, and Johnny's like, my God, what a bunch of pussies! Like, it's a great moment, you know, combining like serious stuff with comedy, which I like.
It's a perfect mix. It's nothing feels out of place. So I mean, it definitely works. Dabney Coleman was another 1980s actor that was a man's man. Usually played bad guys. Of course, I like him. Cool. I'll have to search it up.
Hold on, John said something about they had to get the rights to a song.
Oh yeah, that was what I was talking about. So the season 1 trailer, the season 1 trailer, the song changed, like, and it's the same video. It's not a new upload. The song changed into like a different song. So so this is what he said.
Okay, I see. So they can change the video. YouTube has that power over their own. You know, it's really weird because the first time I watched the show, in the very first episode, after the fight with Kyler and the bullies, I swear it cut to Johnny coming home the next day. But then, like, when I watched it a couple months later, it suddenly had a scene of him walking out of the police station. And the first time I watched the show, I don't remember that scene of him walking out of the police station. Like, it wasn't until I watched it, I think it was like the third time, it was like a couple months later, like that scene was there. I was like, where the hell did that come from? I don't know. Like, do scenes, can they magically appear with like, is that possible? I have no idea. Cause I always just assumed like somehow I just like my mind didn't register it. So I don't know.
Maybe one of them are answering.
Weird. Yeah, like I don't. When do you remember that the first time you watched the first episode? I don't know when you watched it too, but
yeah. So I'm not a credible source for that because I watched it a couple months later after it came out. So and I don't even remember the first time I watched it if I actually saw that part, but I'm sure they could go in and do stuff. Well, that's what they did with the trailer. It still has the same views, same likes, same comments, but they were able to change the music, which I don't know how to do it, but they did it. And I always thought, or not I always thought, but when they first said this, I thought it was because they had Back in the Game in season 2. I thought because they used that song in season 2, they didn't want it for season 1, but I don't know. I mean, for the season 1 trailer, but I don't know when.
Yeah, it was just weird. Like suddenly, like there's something there because like the first time I watched it, I remember thinking it was strange how it just cut to him coming home there, and like it was kind of like a little jarring, I guess. And then it's like a couple months later, I'm rewatching it, and suddenly like there's a shot of him walking out, and maybe it was me. I don't know if I remember that. Yeah, that was I don't know, but at least I know YouTube has that power.
Yeah.
There will be clarity by the end of May. There's clarity. Listen, everyone, the key word now is clarity. There will be clarity.
This is like the new meme. Like I'm gonna put up like on my like channel and all over, like, guys, there's gonna be clarity by the end of May.
I'm gonna screenshot that. I'm gonna just throw that up on my Instagram story. So there you go.
People will be like, people are gonna be like, what's the clarity? And I'll be like, it's just clarity. It's just clarity.
It's just clarity. Don't ask. You're just gonna get clarity.
Don't
Balance
ask.
and clarity is all you need.
Oh my god. Okay, man. Well, I mean, you got anything else? Is there anything else?
That's it for now. I guess I'll make a. You guys are going to love the clarity. It's going to be clarity like you've never clarity'd before.
Like what? Is this like a trailer clarity, or is this like, you know, there's not even a point of asking, but we're gonna get clarity.
Clarity, everyone. Clarity is the key word from now on.
Wait,
so now
wait. Clarity. They keep bringing up the word clarity. C, Carmen. L for LaRusso. It's
L-A-R.
LAR. Carmen LaRusso, itty.
Itty bitty. So it's going to be itty bitty clarity. We'll try to do. Okay, John Hurwitz is going to do a Q&A on Twitter soon. Thank you for stopping in, John. That was really kind of you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for the show. Thank you for everything, and thank you for just thank you for coming. So, Twitter Q&A. I mean, will we get clarity, or are we just gonna get clarity? Well, I mean, at least we'll get something soon. We know. So, guys, exclusive stuff right here. We're getting something soon. But yo, thanks for your dedication to the show later. Thank you for making the show.
Thank you for your dedication to the show too.
Yeah, oh my god, that's just crazy because like how much, you know, they work on the show, how much like care they put in. You really see it through the show, so it's such a good show.
Yeah, it's something I said. Keep up the videos, okay? They want more videos, so here we go. I'll do the video on Cholo's picture, even though I'm not convinced on it. I'll do it. It's going to be mostly humor because I just mostly have jokes to make about it. We'll see.
Yeah, man. Oh my god. So you got anything else, or are we?
I think that's it from now. We'll see when clarity comes, I guess.
All right. Well, I know both of us are gonna stay tuned for John Hurwitz's Q&A. Did he say is he doing it today?
Well, he said soon. I don't necessarily know if he meant today, but you know, maybe within the next week or so.
Get some new video is out, boys. getting some new videos out covering all those Twitter stuff. So I'll be on that, and I'm sure Watch Party you'll be on that too. So
For sure.
we'll have to see, and hopefully we'll get some clarity. That's the key word here. Clarity. All right, man.
All right, man.
Good talking to you. We got our list done. I know we like ended this like we said the same thing like 30 minutes ago, but we got our list done. 1 second.
There you go.
There we go. Okay.
There you go.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad we did this. And yeah, well, maybe we'll do one when season 3 comes out. So
yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you to the like 30 people who stayed in the chat. Thank you, John Hurwitz, Hayden Schlossberg, and Owen Morgan. Thank you guys.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah.
Do you have any? Yeah. Do you have any last things you want to say before we end?
No, just thank you everyone for the support. Like and subscribe the video. There you go. For Cobra Kai Kid, do it.
And go subscribe to Watch Party. I did not put a link in my bio, but I will do that. I mean, I'll put a link in the description like right after this. So
there you go.
Okay, man. Well, good talking to you, and I'll talk to you soon. So peace out, guys. What am I doing? Cobra Kai Never Dies.
Never dies.
Never dies. Okay. See you, man.